My name is Ashley Sosha. I am the development coordinator for Youth Villages New England, and our organization provides intensive evidence-based treatment models to children, family, and young adults. In this area, we have two programs, LifeSet, who focus on working with children who have aged out of foster care, and our Intercept program that works with children and families together. So our Intercept program is a program that provides services to families that focus on parenting skills and the communication skills that they need. Unfortunately, oftentimes these families are at risk of having their children removed. And so the work they do with us is really important because we help to keep them together. In the Massachusetts area, we have 5 offices. We are currently located in Woburn, Marlborough, Lawrence, Springfield, and Raynham.
My name is Amanda Brown. I'm the prevention director for the Healthy Families program in Worcester. We provide parenting education and support for first-time moms and dads. We're one of many programs throughout the state who do the very same thing. We work with moms and dads, children under the age of 1 through the child's 3rd birthday.
I'm Kathleen DeBona, Program Coordinator of the Blue Hills Healthy Families Program, a program of health imperatives. Healthy Families Program is a free support program for first-time teen parents under 21 in Massachusetts. The area that the Blue Hills program serves is Braintree, Canton, Dedham, Dover, Milton, Norwood, Quincy, Randolph, Sharon, Westwood, and Weymouth.
My name is Jennifer Sunderland, and I am the District Homeless and Migrant Educational Coordinator for the Springfield Public Schools in Springfield, Massachusetts. Our school system is large and diverse with approximately 47,000 students and more than 60 schools.
Hi, everybody. My name is Belkis Sanchez. I'm the Family Engagement Specialist from LEO. LEO mission is the strengthening of greater low-income community through resources and services that provide opportunity for children's families and individuals to thrive. We offer services. We partner for resident Lynn, Marblehead, Nehan, Saugus, Swampscott, to increase participation in programs to maximize the potential. Leon Inc. serves an average of 450 families annually.
Hi, I'm Kia Jennings. I am the Program Coordinator and Database Specialist for Smart from the Start. Smart from the Start is a trauma-informed family support, school readiness, and community engagement organization. Our mission is to promote the healthy development of young children and families living in the most underserved communities around Boston. Out of the communities, we serve 2,000 children in 8 neighborhoods in Boston.
The Healthy Families program has been working with Cradles to Crayons for about 15 years. Working with them really helps to remove some of the obstacles that these kids face. So we're able to, the money that they would spend on diapers and clothing, they can use it for other basic needs that they might have. And it also helps to increase our engagement because stopping by with diapers and clothing sometimes is often a way into the house.
Cradles to Crayons has made an enormous impact on our district. I oversee a department that can have on average 1,500 homeless students and about 200 migrant students each school year. We also have students who are unaccompanied or who are not living with their parent or guardian. These students are often coming to us at the worst points of their life, some literally with just the clothes on their back. Our partnership with Cradles to Crayons has allowed my department to provide items to these students to assist them not only in their education, but also to impact their confidence and lower stress levels. Cradles to Crayons has donated backpacks, school supplies, pajamas, seasonal clothing, hygiene kits, and more. This is impactful because majority of our students are living in poverty. We need a lot and don't have as big of a budget. These donations add immediate relief to our students and allow us to stretch our budget.
The pandemic has hit our families pretty harsh and our communities, but with resources like Cradles and Smart from the Start, families are moving along. They're receiving these items and other resources to keep them going.
I think COVID has really exacerbated a lot of the issues that were happening for families originally. So like if they were in financial distress, it made it harder. They may have been holding on to that part-time, waitress job, and then that went away. They may have been struggling at school, and then remote learning became much harder for them because of a learning disability. So I think everything that we saw at like a baseline only got worse.
The pandemic has caused major challenges for everyone here in Springfield. Our families were doing remote learning, and just recently we have started back with a hybrid model. This was a huge challenge to our families to reach out and ask for help. Some of our families are technically challenged or English is not their first language. A lot of our families were struggling in silence, which had major impact on our students' educational, emotional, and social needs. Our families pre-pandemic would be able to come and ask for assistance. During the quarantine, and even now, majority of our services are completed online. For a parent who is homeless, this can be a huge challenge. For our unaccompanied youth, we would go out to the schools, check in with them, and see what their immediate needs were. Now we're not able to do that, and their assistance is delayed due to the virtual connection we are forced to work with.
This year has been very difficult for our children and families as they were facing barriers to meeting their basic needs, especially as the seasons changed and we went through the transition to the colder months. A lot of our families who have children who are growing and need clothes all the time were struggling with how to make the clothes that they had work through those colder periods. Either by layering or trying to patch items that may be in poor condition. Some of our families had newborns, and so they were trying to get initial clothing for their children. And so what the support of Cradle to Crayons did was to be able to provide these families with the basics that they would need to be able to stay warm through those really cold months.
So I think something that's always really impressed me about Cradles to Crayons is the quality of the clothing and the shoes and things like that. So a lot of our families grew up in foster care or DCF custody, and they really didn't have a lot of that. So for their children, they will prioritize that, and just try to really make sure they have good quality stuff. So when they get Cradles to Crayons, they know that the quality is really good. And so that's something they really value.
So several of our program participants will say, everything that my child wears comes from Cradles to Crayons. Like we'll show up on a visit, they'll be like, we'll say, look at that cute little outfit. And they said, you got it, it came from Cradles to Crayons. So our babies all across the catchment area, are dressed head to toe in Cradles clothes. And that's just, that just says so much for what you guys do.
The clothes and diapers are the greatest sources for our families. Many families have benefit for the generosity of supplies that we get from Cradle to Crayons. I always said, I'll see the happiness or the relief of those families. It's amazing.
The poverty rate in Springfield is over 28%, which means that 1 out of 3.5 students lives in poverty. We currently have over 31,000 students who are currently economically disadvantaged, and many of those students are living in single-parent households. Parents struggle with meeting our students' basic needs, and those are made the priority. Students often miss school due to lack of clean clothing and the fear of not fitting in with their peers. Our students who do attend are often tired and hungry, which makes learning difficult. Students who miss school often fall behind and some ultimately drop out. This leads to a vicious cycle where they're unable to have education behind them to gain employment that will be sustainable for their future families. With the gifts of these donations, we have seen attendance, self-confidence, and graduation rates improve. It is so important to understand that homelessness is not just an overnight event. It can happen to anyone. Our youth can donate something as small as the act of listening and acceptance to donating items or volunteering their time.
So some of the challenges that the families we work with that they're facing are, the paying the high cost of rents and being able to provide basic needs for their families, and the high cost of having to Uber to and from work or taking public transportation, which sometimes isn't even an option for a lot of families. So by having, ongoing drives where you guys are able to stock up on supplies that some of these families needs, it removes some of the barriers that some of these kids face. So for example, instead of having to spend $50, $60 on new clothes and shoes for their children, that money can go towards a Charlie card or an Uber card, or put some food in their refrigerator.
What the local 8th graders can do in their communities: they can get involved, they can volunteer at organizations, they can start looking into voting and who their candidates are for when they get older. They can be a part of movements and help against violence in their community.
Many of our families are impacted by barriers to meeting their basic needs, but more so than that, these factors are compounded by experiences with generational poverty, trauma, and mental health concerns. And so the ways that our communities can support the families that we serve is through continuing with basic needs drives to be able to help them with providing a little bit more stability that they need to be able to work on those greater mental health concerns. Also with fundraising initiatives that can help us to continue to support the essential work that we do. And also one thing that I think it's just important for all of us to remember at this time is just to be kind. This year has been unlike any other, and we don't know what all of us are experiencing or going through, or what trials and tribulations we have going on in our lives. So if we can be kind, come together and lift each other up, those are things that I think will really make a difference.
Thank you, Project 351.
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 Thank you, Project 351.